Ships of an alien source are approaching from the sky. Radio contact has been attempted but cannot be established. Instructions are to prepare for an attack by an unknown enemy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Haven't made a video in a while. I'm here late at night getting my cardio in. I wanted to make this video for a while, actually. It just hit me to make it now, and it's just a video about like myths, talking about training, like weight training or cardio or stuff like that, and then also with nutrition. There's just a lot of myths out there. I don't necessarily know why there's so much misinformation. It seems like there's a lot of misinformation as far as fitness goes, and I think it just starts from like a small little truth, and then it kind of escalates from there, and it just turns into a full-blown lie, pretty much. So I wanted to talk about a few things. A couple of them are really, really important, or just because I see a lot of people thinking that they're true, so I really wanted to touch on them, and other ones are kind of more rare, I would say, as far as people thinking they're true. Starting off with eating late. A lot of people have the misconception that if you eat past a certain time that your body's going to store that as fat. Like if you eat carbs past 9 o'clock, your body's going to store it as fat. That's just not true. The hour of the day or the sunlight or anything like that really doesn't affect your body's absorption of the nutrients. So eat whatever time of the day you want. Along with that, a lot of people think you have to eat every like 2 hours or eat every 3 hours to keep your body from breaking down its own muscle tissue, or if you want to lose weight, you have to eat ever so often or whatever. If that works for you, then fine, go with it, but it's not going to make or break you whether you eat 5 meals a day or if you eat 8 meals a day. What really matters at the end of the day is your macronutrients, so focus on that. Focus on hitting those numbers: proteins, carbs, fat, and calories. Absorption of protein. A lot of people think you can't absorb protein like 30 grams at a meal. That's just not true. It just wouldn't be physically possible for some people to get as big as they are, all muscle, if you couldn't absorb more than that. Especially early in the morning when you just wake up after like 7-8 hour fast, your body can absorb a ton of protein, along with post-workout. High protein diets kind of have a bad rap of being hard on the kidneys. All the research has pretty much said that's false. Post-workout whey or your post-workout shake, a lot of people think that has to be consumed within 3 minutes or 7 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever you want to say. That kind of goes along with the eating ever so often. If it works for you, I do that. I usually have a shake within 30 minutes of my weight training, but not because I think it's optimal, just because it makes sense to me and it sits well with my stomach. But like I said, hit those macronutrients at the end of the day. That's what really, really matters. Simple versus complex carbohydrates. It's going to make a difference in staying full for longer, like the difference between brown rice and white rice. But as far as the results of someone who eats brown rice or white rice, it's really not going to make a difference as long as they're eating the same amount of carbohydrates throughout the day. If you would take in everything else would be the same as far as training and genetics, I guess. Training a sore muscle. A lot of people think if you're sore, like if your chest isn't sore, if your chest is sore, you shouldn't lift your legs, or any combination of muscle groups. You shouldn't lift at all when you're sore because your body hasn't recovered from its last workout. Being sore really has no impact on your body recovering. What you really need to worry about as far as recovery is your nervous system. Along with that is training to failure. A lot of people think if you're not training to failure every time you work out or every set or whatever, that you're not doing anything, you're not making any progress. And although training to failure is a key, or is a small part, or can be key as far as tracking your progress, it's not the only thing when it comes to training. You can adjust volume as far as how many reps you're doing, how many exercises you're doing. You can adjust the exercises you're doing, of course. You can adjust the muscle groups you're working together. Say if you normally do like bicep and tricep together, try doing back and bicep together. You can mess with the tempo. Instead of doing a pull-up super fast, you can kind of go slower. You can do shorter rest periods in between sets. You can do longer rest periods in between sets. You can lift in the lower rep ranges. You can lift in the higher rep ranges. Supersets, drop sets, ton of different stuff out there. Failure is just one really small part of that. It is important, but it's not a necessity to train to failure every single exercise or even every single day you lift. You can still make progress and stimulate your muscles. Locking out movements. A lot of people seem to think if you're doing bench and you don't lock your arms out completely, or if you don't go all the way down to your chest, that you're not doing it right, you're cheating yourself. If you're a power lifter or something like that where form is important, then yes, you need to focus on going all the way up, going all the way down. But with certain exercises, it's actually beneficial not to work through the whole range of motion. If you take a shoulder press, for example, most of the stress on your shoulders is right here. And then when you get above your head and locking your arms out, it really hits your triceps, which isn't bad. But if you're trying to hit your shoulders just in one day, you don't really want to bring a lot of triceps into it. A problem I would have is when I'm doing a lot of my pressing movements like bench press, I'll feel my shoulders and my triceps more than I would in my chest. So I kind of had to adjust the range of motion so I felt it in my chest, also with contracting my muscle and not worried about the weight as much. That goes into my next one, as far as a lot of people think you have to lift like ungodly amounts of weight to gain weight or gain muscle. That's just not true. You talk to most of the experienced guys out there, they're going to tell you form and contracting the muscles is really what is important. There's the in between. You can't be lifting like 10-pound dumbbells or whatever, but you need to understand that if you're hurling up a dumbbell and you can't feel it in your bicep, you're really not doing too much. So you need to find that in between where you can control the weight and also use a pretty heavy weight, and then you try to build on that. Cardio post-workout, this kind of goes along with consuming a shake after you work out. A lot of people think you go catabolic like a second after you work out if you don't get nutrients in your body. That's just not true. Creatine, a lot of myths out there about creatine is going to cause a ton of weight gain or that's a steroid or whatever. That's just not true. Spot reducing fat. A lot of people ask me, how can I get the fat off? I just have a little bit of fat on my stomach. I just have a little bit of fat on my legs. That can come off, but it's going to come off at the same rate as the rest of your body. So it's pretty much impossible to take fat off your stomach without taking it off your arms or etc. You can't spot reduce fat. You can only drop your body's fat percentage completely. Women lifting weights. A lot of women have the misconception that if they lift weights or lift heavy weights that they're going to get huge or bulky or something like that. That's just not true, because your genetic makeup, you don't have the testosterone in your body unless you're taking drugs. It's really impossible to get huge like that. And if you do see yourself gaining weight, if you don't like the look of your body while you're weight training, you can actually just decrease your calories. At the end of the day, your calories and your nutrition is going to play a bigger role in how much weight you gain or lose over your training. And actually, even for people who are trying to lose weight, women, weight training can benefit you because it's going to burn more calories throughout the day than it will with just like slow-paced cardio. Last few here, doing like ab exercises like crunches or reverse crunches or hanging leg raises or whatever. Just doing those endlessly, thinking you're going to get a six-pack. And the truth of that is they're going to help bring out your abs, but unless you're at a certain body fat, it's really not going to matter how many crunches you do. You're not going to see your abs. So if you're at like 15, 16% body fat, you're getting up there. If you want to see your abs, you want to get lean, you need to focus on doing cardio and strength training and losing your fat before you ever worry about building a good midsection, because it's really not going to matter as far as seeing them. But they are kind of good to work with your core, just strength, so it would help with squats and kind of the core movements like that. Last one here, the fats are bad for you. If you just think about it, you wouldn't want to eat fats because they're going to make you fat or whatever. It makes sense, but you do need a certain amount of fats in your diet. Of course, depending on your weight and your goals, that's going to vary, but there are bad fats like saturated and trans fat. You're not going to see trans fat anymore, but you need to limit your intake of saturated fat, but try to eat a pretty decent amount of healthy fats, which are going to be poly and mono unsaturated fats. You can find that like in sunflower seeds. I've been getting a lot of those in the summer. Olive oil, canola oil. Really, like the oil you cook in can make a big difference in the amount of fats and whether they're healthy or unhealthy fats. Yeah, so you don't have to stay away from fats completely. Those are just some of the myths I came up with. There are a lot more out there. I just had to think of some off the top of my head. If you guys have any more myth questions or stuff that you think might not be true, you can let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel, guys. Rate the video. Do all that good stuff. Hope you guys are working hard, and I'll have more good stuff coming soon. Hey guys, there's one more thing I had to add to this video because I think it's pretty important. And I left it out. Going to be quick on this, but as far as creating a calorie deficit and losing weight, I see a big misconception here. It is important to eat healthy foods and eat clean foods, but at the end of the day, if you're in a calorie deficit, meaning you're eating less calories than it takes to maintain your current weight, you're going to lose weight, okay? So if I'm burning, the way, if anyone know who Dorian Yates is, he used to be a professional bodybuilder, so of course he knows what he's talking about, and his the way he looks is pretty important to him. It's worth millions of dollars. He said back when he would train, even getting ready for a show, trying to get all the water, all the fat off his body, post-workout he would have his whey shake or whatever, his post-workout shake, and with a candy bar. And people used to come up to him and think he's crazy, like, aren't you getting ready for your show? Why are you eating a candy bar? And he said, I'm burning 3,000 calories a day, and I'm only consuming 2,500. He said, I'm going to lose weight, So eating clean foods is important, don't get me wrong. You shouldn't eat McDonald's and Fruit Loops all day. But hitting your macronutrients, fats, carbs, proteins, fats, carbs, proteins, and calories are what's really important. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. So don't worry about giving up your favorite foods just because you think you have to get lean. You can still eat your favorite foods, eat whatever you want. You just may have to compensate with meals throughout the day. So that's the video, guys.